See you tomorrow, big boss. Jiang Shenner felt happy after hearing this. At least now she can get rid of his control and go home from work. She was already very satisfied. Jiang Xian's son hurried back to the hospital after leaving the company. He didn't see his mother all day and didn't know if his mother was alone. "Mom, I'm back." Jiang Shenner's energetic voice came through before she entered the door. Jiang's mother was really happy to hear her daughter's voice. This is the time she looked forward to most every day. "Are you tired at work?" "I have nothing to do here." "You don't have to worry about me." Jiang's mother looked at her daughter painfully. She was so young that she had to shoulder the family affairs. It seemed that she hadn't seen her daughter smile sincerely for a long time. She still remembers the first time she saw Jiang Shenner. At that time, she was so young. But she smiled as soon as she saw them. That kind of sweet smile really made her unable to forget all her life. She was also careful when holding her in her arms for fear of hurting her. After so many years, she still takes Jiang Shenner as the best gift from heaven. Although I know I'm not my own daughter, what can I do? In such a situation at home, her own daughter may not be able to do so. I'm not tired. The people in the company are very kind to me. Jiang Shenner always reports good news without bad news, but in the company. Except Chu Tianxuan will bully her, others are really good to her. Don't let yourself work too hard. We're sorry for you, which makes you so tired. Jiang's mother looked at her smiling, but she was still very distressed. She had lost weight in just a few days. Jiang Shenner was held in her arms by her mother. "Mom, it's the happiest thing for me to be your daughter. I've been safe for so many years, and I should do something for you. Don't worry, you won't hurt yourself. I just hope you can always accompany me. Watch me get married and have children and help me take care of my baby." Jiang Shenner said and fell asleep. Jiang's mother covered her quilt, patted her gently and coaxed her to sleep like a child. The next morning, Jiang Shenner didn't dare to stay in bed and hurried to work. Chu Tianxuan's words yesterday almost became her nightmare. She was a little nervous at the thought of getting along with him in the same room all day today. "President, do you really want to arrange her in your office? I heard about it early in the morning. What's going on? She is so arrogant in front of me, no matter how she can do it." Chu Tianxuan's decision still hasn't changed. Jiang Shenner must discipline him well. "President, how did you become so childish?" In the morning, he could not help but tutso a sentence. Chu Tianhan heard his own hand make complaints about it. "Is work too idle? Translate all the documents to me in English." Tianming listened to him a little seriously and closed his mouth. He didn't want to offend the president alone for Jiang Shenner. At this time, Jiang Shenner also came to the door. After knocking on the door, he stood honestly and dared not move. "Did I ask you to come standing up? Don't work quickly," Chu Tianxuan said sternly as soon as he saw her. Jiang Shenner didn't dare to refute, so he hurried to work. "Go and get me coffee." As soon as she sat down, Chu Tianxuan's order came out. She didn't dare to delay for a second and hurried to get him coffee. Originally thought it would be finished, but Chu Tianxuan just took a sip and frowned. "Didn't Don tell you that I never put sugar in my coffee?" Chu Tianxuan threw the cup aside. Jiang Shenner hurried to change another cup of unsweetened coffee, but this time he was still not satisfied. "Coffee from the self-service machine." Chu Tianxu just took a sip and frowned with discontent. That expression made Jiang Shenner think for a moment if he had put shit in his coffee. How could his expression be so ugly? Trembling, "President, what's the matter with the coffee? I only drink freshly ground." Chu Tianshu stared at the computer screen without looking at Jiang Xian. However, when he said it, it was the torturer who had no temper. What do you want? Jiang Xian was also annoyed by the toss. He didn't do anything this morning. He just ran errands for him. Don't you ask others in advance? I want sugar-free, 9 minutes hot, freshly ground black coffee in the cafe opposite. Chu Tianshuan specially said more about his request to see if Jiang Xian could do it. You think you're eating steak? It's still 9 minutes hot. How can I know what 9 minutes hot is like? Evil capitalists. Jiang Xian complained alone in the lounge, but he didn't dare to speak too loudly, for fear that someone with a heart would hear her and participate in her again. What are you talking about? When I passed by tomorrow, I saw her alone in the lounge, dejected, so I went in and talked with her. Ah? Nothing. Jiang Xian thought it was Chu Tianshuan who came here. He was so frightened that the cup in his hand almost fell down. The hot water poured directly on her hand, and her hand turned red in an instant. Be careful. Tian Ming quickly took her hand and washed it under the tap. This is the secretary used by the president. If he gets hurt, he should bear the responsibility. Jiang Xian's son showed his teeth in pain, but it didn't seem to be of great use. She was more worried about the cup of coffee than her own hand. She simply handled it and pretended to do nothing when she felt no pain. It's okay. It doesn't hurt anymore. I have to take the coffee. Don't say it. Jiang Xian took the coffee cup out with pain. She thought it wouldn't hurt soon, but the heart-piercing pain continued to her fingers, even when she sent Chu Tianshuan coffee. Chu Tianshuan just wanted to accuse her of delivering coffee for so long, but he saw her scalded hand. How? Chu Tianshuan picked his eyebrows. Jiang Xian didn't expect that he would notice her injury. He was at a loss for a moment. Just accidentally scalded, nothing. Jiang Xian immediately hid her injured hand. It was because she was careless. You are really stupid. You don't want to use this to deceive me, do you? This is not an industrial injury. Chu Tianshuan really couldn't say anything good. Jiang Xian's little move just disappeared. Don't worry. Although I'm short of money, I won't be like this. I'll go to work if there's nothing wrong. Jiang Xian turned around and wanted to return to his position. Stand there, I haven't finished talking. Chu Tianshuan took out the burn medicine from his desk and threw it to Jiang Xian. Wipe it yourself. You still have a lot of work to do today. Chu Tianshuan, an awkward man, obviously cares about Jiang Xian. He can still speak so stiff. It is estimated that he is the only one. Just go. I don't want to stay with you. Jiang Xian was one step ahead of him. He was uncomfortable at the thought of what he had just said. It was obvious that he disliked himself. Stop. Chu Tianshuan grabbed Jiang Xian's arm. Her arm was almost thin enough for him to hold with 3 fingers. I really don't know how she made herself like this. Jiang Xian looked at him with a look of what you want to do. Chu Tianshuan took out a box from his pocket. When he opened it, it was a beautiful necklace. Jiang Xian looked at it again. He didn't know what it meant. Chu Tianshuan took out the necklace and put it on Jiang Xian's neck. Her skin was very white. Wearing the dark blue necklace made her more delicate. Chu Tianshuan was very satisfied. She had a good eye. You asked me to bring such valuable things. If I lose them, I can't afford to pay for them. You have to think about it. Jiang Xian was also very satisfied with the necklace, but it was too expensive. She was really worried. There is no time to return what I sent out. Whether you can keep it is your own business. Chu Tianxuan not only put her necklace on himself, but also whispered in his ear. I will protect it carefully. Jiang Xian'er said very treasure. In this way, Chu Tianxuan and Jiang Xian'er went to the reception site together. When this pair of handsome men and women appeared, everyone's eyes were attracted by them. Jiang Xian'er has not been paid such attention for a long time. The sudden attention really makes her a little uncomfortable. Don't be nervous. They don't dare do anything to you with me. Chu Tianxuan's comfort was very useful to Jiang Xian'er. Her anxiety was indeed reduced. Jiang Xian'er and Chu Tianxuan went directly to the designer. Hello, this is the lady who wore your design that day, Jiang Xian'er. Chu Tianxuan brought her directly to the designer. So you are Miss Jiang. Hello, you are the first woman to interpret my dress perfectly. The designer greeted Jiang Xian'er politely, and Chu Tianxuan stayed with her all the time. No, I'm not. I've just heard your stories. Once I was very interested in design. So I was interested in the design ideas of various designers. However, the story of you and your wife is really moving. It's no pity to have such a lover in this life. Jiang Xian'er is also very happy to talk to the designer face to face. Didn't Miss Jiang? Aren't you a couple? The designer saw the unusual feelings between Chu Tianxuan and Jiang Xian'er from their eyes, but it is estimated that these two people probably haven't realized their feelings. I'm not so lucky. Things at home make me have no other thoughts to think about other things. Let's talk about design. I really want to know where your design inspiration comes from. Jiang Xian'er naturally changed the topic. She is not in the mood to talk about feelings now. Accompanied by Chu Tianxuan, Jiang Xian'er has been chatting with the designer. He is shocked to see the brilliance never seen on a woman's face. It turns out that she likes design so much. If she is still Miss Jiang, if she doesn't lose everything overnight, maybe she will become an excellent designer. Chu Tianxuan never cares about other people's eyes. But that doesn't mean that others will let him go. Everyone's eyes have been attracted by them since he took Jiang Xian'er to the cocktail party. Chu Tianxuan is not a person willing to bring a woman to the cocktail party. This woman has appeared in front of everyone for the second time and said that they have nothing to do and no one will believe it. Who are the women around the president? How could he bring her here? Yes, isn't the president engaged to marry Miss Liang? Why are you here with another woman? What the hell is going on? People below are talking. Others recognize Jiang Xian'er's identity. You don't know. She is the eldest miss of the Jiang family. Just overnight, the Jiang family was facing bankruptcy, so she was down. Poor people can hook up with Chu Shao. She doesn't look like a good person. She will seduce people if she looks like that. Those women who couldn't stay with Chu Tianxuan envied Jiang Xian'er when they saw that she could be so lucky around him. I really don't know what shit luck she had. Some people will deliberately embarrass her if they are jealous. Jiang Xian'er doesn't know that she has so many strange eyes around her. She is still communicating with the designer very seriously. Oh, who is this? Isn't this the poor young lady of the Jiang family? A woman couldn't help coming to provoke them. Chu Tianxuan was already unhappy when he heard someone interrupt Jiang Xian'er's conversation. Although he didn't like Jiang Xian'er, it was the woman he brought after all. He didn't allow others to bully her. Hello, I'm Jiang Xian'er. Jiang Xian'er didn't know who she was, but he said hello to her politely. I know who you are, but I didn't expect Miss Jiang to be so romantic. She came here to seduce Chu Shao before everything at home was solved. You really have the ability. The woman said so in front of everyone. Jiang Xian's face was very bad. I'll handle my family's affairs by myself. Do you need to talk more here? Jiang Xianer won't be bullied like this. Her family just doesn't have money now. There are no other problems. She came with Chu Tianxuan because she was his employee and had to come together. You are shameless and don't let people say, Chu Shao. Don't be blinded by such a woman. The woman also pretended to be very considerate of Chu Tianxuan. Chu Tianxuan only felt funny about this kind of woman. How could she be so shameless? But he didn't want to help her now. He wanted to see how Jiang Xianer, who has always been smart, would deal with such a situation. I'm just an employee of Chu Shao. I didn't let Chu Shao come today. I wore designer clothes before. So he wanted to see me. It has nothing to do with Chu Shao. Jiang Xianer left Chu Shaoxuan alone at this time. It would be even worse if he lost his job again. If it weren't for Chu Shao, could you put on that dress? You mean, it's the first time I've seen a woman like you? The woman still said without shame. What about you? What's your identity? Do you have anything to do with Chu Shao? Or are you the shameless one? Jiang Xianer was really smart. The woman was blocked and had nothing to say. Miss, I don't know you either. Don't you think it's shameless for you to do so? Talking to me in front of so many people just makes you lose your demeanor. I think it's you, not me, who are ashamed to do so in front of so many people. Jiang Xianer's words completely left the woman speechless. But she was unwilling to be pressed down by her. Chu Shao, you won't even like such a woman, will you? You don't want your fiancé to misunderstand, do you? If you let your fiancé know about it, I think you want to get the consequences. The woman turned her head and talked to Chu Tianxuan. Everyone present didn't know that Chu Tianxuan had a fiancé. Do you need to worry about my affairs? Chu Tianxuan's indifferent voice came over, and the reception was quiet at once. Chu Shao, I'm also for you. This kind of woman shouldn't be around you. The woman was also a little nervous, but she couldn't take it back when she had said it. She had to keep talking. Do you think I'm too old to tell such things apart? The coldness revealed in Chu Tianxuan's words really made all the people present there not breathe. Chu Shao, don't get me wrong. I didn't mean that. How could I say you? I'm just reminding you that. After all, there are so many women with tricks now. It's bad if you're cheated. The woman was still trying to explain, but she couldn't feel how pale her explanation was. You don't have to do this. Take care of yourself. Get out, I don't want to see you again. Chu Tianxuan gave the order, and the woman was directly kicked out of the venue by the guards. From then on, only she will be a joke in others' mouth. Why are you so cruel to her? It's not good for your reputation in the future. It doesn't matter if I say a few words. Why do you do that? Jiang Xianer looked at Chu Tianxuan reluctantly. She was not angry. Why should Chu Tianxuan be angry? Chu Tianxuan's anger didn't make Jiang Xianer think he was angry because the woman was embarrassing her. I just heard that woman mention his fiancé. It turns out that her boss is engaged. Jiang Xianer just felt very strange. Chu Tianxuan was not afraid that his fiancé would be angry when he brought her to such an occasion without scruples. Are you cruel to her? I've been very tolerant to her. I've given her face without embarrassing her in front of so many people. Chu Tianxuan said quietly. Chu Tianxuan didn't know how he could help Jiang Xianer speak. He was going to see her play, but when he saw others bullying her, he couldn't help but come forward and speak for her. Moreover, I'm your boss. Even if you're stupid, you're my employee. I won't let others bully my employees. Beating a dog depends on the owner, he said awkwardly, but a pair of eyes kept aiming at Jiang Shenner's expression. Jiang Shenner's face has turned black into carbon. What does it mean that a dog can't spit out ivory? That's it. Even if you have 10,000 grass mud horses on your chest, smile politely. Yes, boss, you are really a good boss. It's my honor to meet employees who protect themselves like you. She could only nod and say. And she dared not say anything in front of him, but muttered in her heart. Just when he spoke for himself, Jiang Shenner was grateful to Chu Tianxuan. However, her gratitude for what he said later had disappeared. Feeling is to let everyone see that his boss is still very humanized. So he came out to speak for her. He thought he was really changed. Jiang Shenner could only say these words to himself in his heart. Even if he was not satisfied with his boss, he had to acquiesce in what he said. Seeing that Jiang Shenner nodded frequently and agreed with what he said, Chu Tianxuan smiled with satisfaction. While talking to Jiang Shenner, Chu Tianxuan inadvertently saw a friend coming into the reception. I'll go over and say hello. Go around first. Don't go too far. I'll come to you later. At this time, a waiter happened to pass by with a tray. Chu Tianxuan didn't wait for Jiang Shenner to speak. He took a glass of wine from the waiter and left her sight. Jiang Shenner wanted to shout Chu Tianxuan. When she turned around, she couldn't see his figure. There were more and more people at the reception. Jiang Shenner looked at Chu Tianxuan in the crowd. After a while, he couldn't see his people at all. In fact, she wanted to tell him that there were no people she knew and no one spoke to her. Now she left her alone and simply let her go back. Anyway, she doesn't have anything to do here. The people who attended the reception today, judging by their clothes, are some people who are either rich or expensive. If it had been in the past, Jiang Shenner felt that he could cope with this kind of reception and would talk to those celebrities and nobles. But now, it's not what it used to be. Don't those rich ladies just want to see her jokes? Although she had a quick tongue just now, and Chu Tianxuan had the woman thrown out, she was still a little uncomfortable. Jiang Xian's son doesn't want to stay at the reception. He wants to leave and go to the hospital to accompany his mother. Chu Tianxuan asked her to stay here and said she would come to her later. If Chu Tianxuan hadn't said it was the designer's invitation, Jiang Shenner might just say hello without saying a word and leave without hesitation. But the fact told her that she couldn't do this because she couldn't offend Chu Tianxuan and she couldn't afford to. It is not that she is afraid of him, but that she urgently needs the job.